Welcome back to my Scrape Universe. It's your boy RS back at it again with another video. So, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to address this, but I felt like it was something that I need to bring up because it's kind of been proving the point that I've been trying to prove for months, and that this community, and I think the anime community more so as a whole on YouTube, really can't take criticism well, and they don't do the best job of just accepting someone's opinion and moving on. So recently, Geekdom and Detective Q, also known as Squawman, they both released videos basically talking about what happened in 131. They gave their honest opinions, and shortly after that, they both started getting shit from people in their comment section on Twitter, stuff like that. And these people were basically giving them shit because they didn't outwardly just praise the episode throughout its entirety. They had criticisms for it. They tried to be objective about it. And instead of these people just, letting them state their opinions, saying, I respectfully disagree and move on, they felt that they had to comment, well, I enjoyed the episode. Why can't you just enjoy it like I did? Which, again, it goes into the point that I've been making for months, that these guys literally come on these channels to have their biases reaffirmed. They don't really care about, hearing different opposing opinions. They just want to hear the show get sucked off. And it made me think that I don't know if this, I might be reaching a little bit too far here, but I really do think there needs to be some sort of voice that normalizes criticism, and not only in the Dragon Ball community, but the anime community as a whole. And I don't really think there is a voice like that in the anime community that I could think of. Like, for example, if we're talking about gaming and the gaming community on YouTube, anytime I think about criticism and the people that have normalized it in that sphere, I think of people like Angry Joe. I think of people like Jim Sterling. Like, those guys are very large voices, and they're taken very seriously in the gaming sphere in regards to YouTube. If we're talking about cinema, we have people like Nostalgia Critic, who has been on this platform for a very long time, and a lot of people look forward to his criticisms on reviews. And when I think about the anime community in the same light, I don't really see a voice there. And I don't know who that voice is going to be. That voice is going to be. I mean, some people in the comment section are sure going to be like, well, why don't you do it, Ars? But, I mean, I don't have the time, nor do I care enough to try to build a base that strong and try to revolutionize something like that in the community. But my whole point here is there needs to be some sort of voice that normalizes criticism in this anime community. This people going into these videos not really giving a shit about the opposing opinions and only wanting to hear basically what they want to hear, which again is just affirming their own bias. I really think it is dangerous, and it's just been going on for too long. Obviously, this is just my opinion on this. Quaman, Geekdom, if you're watching this, I respect you guys for, going out here and trying to give your best objective opinion. Granted, Geekdom, you made some errors in your review, but I really felt that the errors that you made it wasn't so bad that either one of you deserved disrespect for any errors you made or whatever. On something as childish as this. Is really fucking petty. So respect to you guys for giving out your opinion. This happened also to Mastar, I believe, when he gave criticism one time. A lot of people gave him shit. There's too many fucking snowflakes in this community. If I were you guys personally, I would make a video about this shit. Just, trying to take some sort of steps to normalize criticism and talk about, just create a discussion about this shit. Because just going on Twitter or pretending like the shit doesn't exist. I'm not saying that you guys are doing that. I'm just saying that not addressing it openly and trying to create discussion about it, I feel like it just leaves too much open for these guys, for this just for this to continue to happen, if that makes any sense. Kind of rambling, but that's all I wanted to say on that note. There needs to be some sort of voice to normalize criticism in the anime community, because right now it really doesn't exist. And it's insane to me that people as respected as Geekdom, Quamman, and even Mastar just get shit the instant that they try to be even remotely objective about a fucking anime series. But that's just me. Jumping into the actual discussion, there's not a lot for me to say about this episode. I didn't really like it. It didn't feel like the series was coming to an end. It just felt like a season finale, you know what I'm saying? It felt like they really weren't trying to close their doors on this series, and that they're going to attempt to bring this back at some other time. I might be right or wrong about that. Super may actually come back based off of the way they ended it, but that's just speculation. They didn't pace it well. This arc as a whole, the premise behind it doesn't make any sense. It's obvious that they really weren't trying to create a series that, you know, was trying to follow some coherent logic. They were just trying to make this show to advertise as many toys as humanly possible, which is just marketing as per usual. It's very disappointing that something with the Dragon Ball, you know, brand on it turned out this bad. Obviously, some people who are watching this are going to disagree, but I think Dragon Ball Super is complete trash. I honestly, I'm leaning to think that GT it's slightly better. And I really didn't want to have to say that, but I'm honestly leaning towards GT being slightly better. It felt more like a Dragon Ball series than this. And granted, GT has a lot of flaws. One of the main flaws is that focused way too much on Goku. And, you know, it focused primarily on like 3 people and kind of Vegeta and the rest of the gang later on. Whereas Super, for example, actually did a better job of bringing back the people that were relevant in Z and trying to put them in the forefront. But even that thing that I try to give Super credit for, they didn't do a good job of it. They didn't do a proper job of utilizing these characters. And that's all I'm gonna say. For character utilization, Super is superior to GT all the way, because, like I said, they brought back irrelevant characters. But if we're talking about, you know, storytelling and coherency and originality, I'm leaning on GT. Like, I have to give the edge. The only thing that I can say good about Super is that it, you know, it had some good art, they had some good fights, but that's all surface level shit. Like, it's just like, wow, it's really cool, but none of it makes any sense. And there's so many plot holes and so many unanswered questions that I just can't help but say this feels like an incomplete series. Maybe that was done intentionally by design. I don't know, but that's just how I feel about it. I did see the trailer for the new movie. I think that it has promise, and I was speaking with Geekdom about this in the Discord. But, I mean, initially I thought that, you know, because Goku had his staff back, he had the King Kai gi on, which he hasn't worn since, like, the Namek/Saiyan saga, and he was using a very older stance. I thought that this was going to be, you know, they were taking it back. Maybe they could bring down the power a little bit and just go back to old-fashioned fighting, just stick it to, just keep Super Saiyan and rely more so on good quality storytelling and fighting instead of power. But given the fact that when I asked Geekdom about this, he told me, you know, this is going to be happening after the Tournament of Power. I'm skeptical. I don't know. The art looks good, but that's not enough for me to say this is good, whether or not it's going to be good or not. Because based off of the precedent set with Super, if that same level of storytelling is going to be coming to this movie is going to be trash. It might be a good looking movie, but it is not going to be a coherent storytelling type of movie in any capacity. And again, some people who watch anime don't give a shit about storytelling, obviously, because Super exists. But I'm one of those people. I don't give a shit how cool your series is. If that shit doesn't make any sense, it's trash. Period. Like, that's it. If your premise is poorly made, if your narrative you're trying to establish doesn't have enough established evidence, or established logic and coherent logic to support that narrative, and the storytelling is out of whack, it's trash. Other than that, I mean, I have nothing else to say. This was just a very disappointing series, a very disappointing finale. The fighting in the episode was good. I liked it. But other than that, when I tried to delve deep into the premise of this arc, it's just convoluted trash. And I'm not going to give praise to something, or overlook the premise of an arc because the fighting was good. The animation was clean, but that artwork though, just that's such shallow, surface level bullshit. I can't be asked with that. That's all I have to say in regards to this discussion. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be making some other shit later in the week. I'm still going to continue reviewing the manga, obviously. But other than that, I'm out of here. Your boy Ars is out.